Welcome learners. In the last session, we did the entire module introduction wherein the page 1 will create in this particular session. What I'm going to show to you is the list view.builder which you can use to create different kind of a widgets wherein we are going to understand how the list view builder would function from the very beginning. I'm going to talk about the intricate details that the list view builder has got. For example, how many items the list has got into the entire screen. How many items will go into the item builder so that you can see them onto the widget tree. Well, if this kind of seems confusing, I'll make sure your queries get solved while you watch this video. Tune in to the session. Let's understand the blueprint of our session today, wherein I'm going to teach to you page views. Let's consider that this is our screen, and I'll put the name on the screen as page 1. So when you are going to see different pages, for example page 2 and page 3, they will be available in the form of vertically scrollable components. My mistake. In the form of horizontally scrollable components. For example, if you horizontally swipe this to the left hand side, this page 2 shall appear, so on and so forth. If I would further swipe left on page 2, then the page 3 will show up. Now, coming on to not so long ago, WhatsApp kind of had this design wherein the page 1 used to show the chats, following which to the left side it was camera, and to the right side it used to have groups, or in fact the status for different friends that they would be putting. How do you implement this into Flutter and what goes behind into the design? We'll try to see it from the very scratch. So here I am on my app. I'll try to create a new directory and I'll call it Pageview demo, inside of which I'll create a .dat file saying Pageview demonstration screen, and I'll say yes, I want to add this code to my GitHub. So my class Pageview demonstration screen extends a stateless widget. But before I dive in, like every time, what I would try and do is a bit amount of test. So let's say when we have a new screen to spawn up, at the center of the screen I'll write inside page views screen. Now this particular screen design will try to aim, and over here I'll have my create missing override. I'll put the return stating scaffold. So over here what I'll try and do is at the body in the center of the screen I want to display the text inside page views demonstration. Then I'll go to my home screen, right where I see my start calculator button. I'll put one elevated button now. When I click on the button, I should see a caption start page views, and when I tap on it, it's going to do navigator.push. That basically adds a new screen, and I'll put context over here. I'll put page view demonstration screen. Now when I do a hot reload, That's my Start Page Views button. When I tap on it, it takes me indeed to the screen. What I'll next try and do is over here create 3 pages. So here is page 1. So class page 1 extends state less widget. Now inside of every page that would be there in my app, I would want to have at the center of the screen one text that basically says where we are into our app. So here it will say you are looking at page 1. Perhaps let me also add an app bar which says page 1, and I'll put the background color as colors.deep orange. Now since we have the page 1 ready, let me copy this and create a new Dart file, page 2, simply changing the name of the class file to page 2, and over here as well as over here changing the number to page 2. Page 3, I'll change the number here, and over here page 3. So what I now want to do is kind of establish a relation between all these 3 pages. So let's see, we have over here our page view demonstration screen. So this is a top level parent, and this top level parent has got 3 children. That's page 1. Let me squeeze the size. Page 2. Page 3. So this all 3 pages should be having a common ancestor. That's my page view demonstration. So let me head over to the parent page view demonstration, and this is actually page view widget. It has got children. So I'll put over here all the 3 children's, page 1, comma, page 2, comma, page 3. Now when I do a hot reload, do you notice over here it says you're looking at page 1. When I swipe to the right, it says you're looking at page 2, and when further I swipe to the right side, it says you're looking at page 3. At every page I got a back arrow. When I tap on it, it takes me to the home screen of my app. What I now intend to do is on all the 3 pages, I'm going to show to you how you can create different designs for list. Well, you can open any particular app in your phone, and I can try betting on this that there would be a scrollable screen. List is one feature that every app would be having, and hence over here I'm going to show to you from a very simple to a bit complicated list to get created. Let's go on to page 1, and then I'll try to remove this text as it was for testing. I'm going to show to you something called as listview.builder. Now, unlike all the other widgets which kind of have a definite number of parameters, in case of a list view I can actually have any number of parameters. That makes it a bit complicated to understand. I want you to put a close attention on what I'm trying to show, and then you'll be able to grasp it very easily. So let's say on the runtime, as you would notice, an YouTube app to load the images for the videos. On runtime, you'll see the Instagram app to load the feeds from its server. In a same way, at runtime, you are going to say 100 items that will be same view learn letter to be there at the screen. Let's try doing a hot reload and seeing how does exactly my page 1 look like. Now, well, I can scroll through the page and I should be having 100 items saying learn flutter. Let's try putting over here my second variable in the item builder, that is index. When I try to now do a hot reload, you notice that this learn flutter in fact starts from 0th index and goes up to 99. So the total item count still remains to be 100. What I now wanted to show to you is on Dartpad, I'm going to introduce to you onto the list data type. So list is over here, one of the data types that very frequently gets being used into your mobile app. Let's say we have a list of names, or in fact I'm going to change this to an integer and switch this to number list. I'll randomly put numbers into my list. Now let's say if I just want to access the first element, that is 22. We are humans. We would gradually begin our count from 1. But when it comes to programming, the count actually starts from 0. Hence, if I try to do something like element at position 0 is, I'll put numbers list and within the brackets put 0. Next, I shall in fact take this and put it inside the double quotes and try to run the code. So what you notice is 22 being displayed. If 22 is at the 0th position, I can try playing along and print the subsequent elements. Let's say 0, 1, 2, and I'll change this as 0, 1, 2. So you notice 44 and 66 gets displayed one after the another. Well, that's your simple list. Now the same list we'll try to demonstrate over here. In this case, what I'll try and do is create a list of string, wherein we will be having our days of the week to get displayed. So let's say we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Basically all the days of the week. Did you notice while I was trying to demonstrate to you the list view builder, I had hard coded 100 items. Well, now I'll remove this and instead use days of the week dot length. What does dot length mean? Let's move to the dartpad again. As you understood, this elements at different positions. Now, now what I'll try and do is try to show to you the length of my list, and I'll see length of number list is, then I'll click on run and it says 6. Let's try and see 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's actually correct. That's because in my numbers list I have added 6 numbers. What do you understand is when I am trying to compose the entire list, this list view builder should be giving me total number of 7 items into my output. So let's try and see if learn flutter now shows me from 0 to 6 on hot reload. What I notice is yes, it in fact shows from 0 to 6. But I would not want to see this learn flutter, which I'm already doing, and instead use this index to pick up the values from my list. Well, how do I do that? So let's see. I'll put over here days of the week, and within the rectangle brackets I'll mention the index. Now upon hot reload, do you notice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so on and so forth being displayed? How did this particular code work? As you were seeing, the list view builder to get composed dynamically, this index kind of had the position in which we have added the items in the list. For example, Sunday was at position 0, and hence on the view also you'll see Sunday to be the topmost element. Going forward, this would be 1 and this would be the 6th element. Just notice that's exactly the sequence you see it in the output. Well, a list view builder basically tries to pick all the elements from the list and then display according to the index value. That's exactly the point which I wanted to teach to you. Now, we'll try to improvise a bit on this design. This text I'll try to replace with a list tile which will show the title as this particular text. Upon hot reload, what do you notice? The text bit got bigger in font and also there's a good amount of spacing. Perhaps this kind of looks decent than the previous one. I can play along. Let's see, on the left side I wanted to add an icon. So I'll put over here any random icon. Let's say this clock symbol. Upon hot reload, you'll notice that there is a leading icon which shows the clock symbol. Same like leading, I also have something called as a trailing, in which I can try putting this man who's motivated enough to even run on a wheelchair. So yes, so that's my trailing icon. What I'm trying to show to you is this list style is kind of an inbuilt component which allows me to customize my list items according to my own design. For example, if you don't like over here the icon to be there, you can try saying that there's going to be a text as hello. Now when I try to do a hot reload, you see a hello text at the end. Well, I preferably like the icon and would resort to showing it. Well, that's exactly my simple design for my page 1, wherein I understand with the help of list view builder and with the list tile, I can put minimal efforts and try to create my list onto the app. Hopefully the demonstration for the entire basic creation of list went well, as now we're going to delve into the binary trees. Well, do you remember your DSA teacher constantly saying you that trees has to be balanced, otherwise your app is going to crash? Well, in the next session, I'm going to exactly prove to you why your teachers said so. So stay tuned and keep learning with open minds.